I think last class I have completed about pollination, sir.
Okay.
Male reproductive system and male and female gametes,
Yeah, you can
and
go
have
with the
started
next
the.
portion. Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah, I'm moving with the next portion only, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Sharmila, is it visible?
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we all know from the pollen grains. Okay. So we know the pollen grains, it is a male gametophyte. Okay. It is produced from the anther. Okay. It is produced from the anther, and the number of pollen grains will be produced in the anther is more. Okay. So this pollen grains will be released from the anther when the anther get degaged. Degations, na, it will be split. When the anther gets splitting, these pollen grains will be released out. Okay. So if you see the structure, the pollen grains generally spherical in shape, and it is nearly 25 to 50 micrometer in diameter. Okay. And it is made up of two layers. Okay, one is outer layer and another one is inner layer. So outer layer and inner layer. So the outer layer is called as exine, and it is inner layer is called as intine. And in pollen grains, it can able to survive in different climatic conditions. Generally, if you see, that is due to the sporopollenin. Okay. Because of the sporopollenin nature only, it is a chemical substance which is present in the exine of the pollen grains. Okay. It can able to withstand high temperature also, strong acids also, and alkali also. So, and no enzymes or microorganism not able to degrade the, what is that? A pollen grains. It can able to withstand long time in the atmosphere. That is due to this sporopollenin only. It will not allow these pollen grains to degrade it. Okay, so this is the important character of the pollen grains. And exine also has one of these germ pores. Where the germ pores are present in that region, the sporopollenin is absent. From the germ pores only, the pollen grains will start to grow. And the inner wall is called as intine. Okay, it is a thin and it is a continuous layer. There is no any sporopollenin or any germ pores are not present here. So it is made up of cellulose and pectin. Cellulose and pectin. Okay. And on the maturity, when the pollen grains are get maturity, okay, it will produce two kinds of cells. One is the pollen grains are divided to produce two kinds of cell. One is the vegetative cells and another one is the generative cells. Okay. Pollen grains are made up of two layer, exine, intine. Exine is made up of sporopollenin. With help of the sporopollenin only, the pollen grains can able to withstand in the atmosphere for the long time. Okay. And the intine is made up of cellulose and pectin. So intine is a continuous layer. There is no differences like germ pores and sporopollenin, like the structures are not present here. And when the pollen grains are get maturity, it will divide to form vegetative cells and another one is the generative cells. Okay, vegetative cells and another one is the generative cells. Okay, and the vegetative cell, generative cells undergo what changes will happen. If you see, the vegetative cells will be bigger and has abundant food reserves. They have a abundant food reserves and they are large, irregular shaped nucleus they have. Okay, and generative cells, they are very small and they float in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cells. Nearly in angiosperms, 60% of the angiosperms, the pollen grains will be shed off. Shed off na, it will fall to the female gametes in the two cell stage only. Okay, the pollen grains should reach the stigma. So in which stage these pollen grains will reach to the stigma, that is shed. Okay, shed at the two cell stage only. What are the two cell stage now? One is the vegetative cells and another one is what is that? A generative cells. Okay, and in others, generative cells divides mitotically to form two male gametes before pollen grains are shed. Okay, in angiosperms it is two cell stage. In other plants like gymnosperms and bryophytes, pteridophytes, especially gymnosperms, pteridophytes and all, the pollen grains will be shed in the three cell stage. So because the generative cells will be divided to form what is that? Two male gametes will be formed. Along with that, the pollen grains, generative cells form two male gametes and one vegetative cells also we have. So that three cell stage it will be fall down. So this is the what about the structure of pollen grains. And next, importance of pollen grains. So what is the importance of pollen grains? If you see, so if we see the pollen grains have some bring some disadvantages also, and some have characteristic of advantages also. We have advantages in பார்க்கும்போது it will go undergo the process like sexual reproduction. So when it has undergo sexual reproduction, we could able to see more new varieties of organism. But if you mostly, if you see, the pollen grains cause severe allergies. So when it is carried with help of wind, when it is carried, the pollen grains, when it is carried by the wind, it causes the allergies and bronchial affiliations. That is, in our bronchial regions will get disturbed. Okay. And also it causes the chronic respiratory disorders like asthma, bronchitis. Okay, like that it will be causes. And so in example, in the Parthenium plant, okay, maximum which plant the pollen grains will cause the allergy அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா the Parthenium and carrot. Okay, these plants is the pollen grains will cause the allergy to us. Okay, and also the beneficial பார்க்கும்போது with help of the pollen grains we can make a tablets. The pollen grains வச்சு we can make a tablets. Okay, so in foreign countries they are making it. So it is rich in nutrients. Okay, and this nutrients, they are with help of the nutrients they're making as a tablets. Okay, it is a good food supplements to us. So they are making as a pollen grain for the what? A tablets. And when the athletic peoples, okay, the race horses and the athletes, when they have taken this pollen consumption, they can increase the performance, and the speed level for them it will be get increases. Okay, so this is what one of the good economic advantages of the what? A pollen grains. And after shedding, the viability depends on temperature and humidity. So based on the humidity, temperature, based on that, it can able to grow or not. That is completely it's depend on the temperature and humidity only. The pollen grains, once it is fall down to the stigma, if a proper temperature and humidity is there, it can able to germinate. If not, it not able to germinate. So that is important thing here. And in a wheat and rice, the pollen grains lost the viability within 30 minutes of the release. Okay, so especially make underline of it. Wheat and rice plants, the pollen grains, after shed to the stigma, within 30 minutes it lost the viability. And in some of the plant like rosaceae, leguminaceae, rosaceae means the rose plants. Okay, the rose we have, no, that is comes under the rosaceae. Leguminaceae na all the pulses plants, pea, beans, chennas, grams, all these plants, these are pulses all comes under the leguminaceae. The solanaceae na potato, tomato, these all comes under the solanaceae. So in these plants, the pollen grains, even for a month also, it will be very viable. Viable ma, it can able to undergo fertilization. Okay, undergo fusion, everything it will be able to do. So in these plants, it can able to do 30 days after also it will be viable. And pollen grains can be preserved for a year in the liquid nitrogen. Nearly cryopreservation with help of the method in 190 degrees Celsius we can able to what is that preserve the pollen grains. So this is what important characteristic of the pollen grains nature. So okay, what are the first thing? What are the pollen grains? What is the allergies will cause to us? What are the disadvantages when we discuss about pollen grains? Any one of them? It cause the pollen grains will cause the
Allergy, ma'am.
allergy and also bronchitis, asthma. Okay, va? So especially in which plants the pollen grains will cause the allergy? Two plants are there. What are the two plants pollen grains will cause the allergy to us? Parthenium and carrot grass. What are they? Parthenium or carrot grass. Okay. Okay. And what are the advantages of pollen grains? What are the advantages of pollen grains? Am I audible, children? Am I audible? Please, somebody respond, ma. What are the
Yes, ma'am.
advantages of pollen grains?
Ma'am, it is rich in nutrient, ma'am.
Which is rich in nutrients. So, with help of that nutrient, we can make the what is that?
Tablets and
Tablets.
food for athlete horses, ma'am.
Yeah, yes. Okay, good. Okay, and next one, the viability of pollens. After the shedding to the particular plant, how much hour, how many minutes it can able to viable. So that we need to discussed. So in mostly the viability is depend on temperature and humidity. Okay. So in wheat and rice plants, the pollen grains viability is the viability of pollen grains in the wheat and rice plants.
1 hour,
What is
ma'am.
that? 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Make a note it. 30 minutes. 30 minutes only. Wheat and rice plants, they have a viability nearly 30 minutes only. After that, they lost the viability. What about rosaceae and leguminaceae and solanaceae plant? What about the viability? What about the viability?
They remain for months, ma'am.
Remain for the months. Okay. And so we can use the preservation. Okay. For preservation, how many degrees Celsius we are using in the liquid nitrogen? Minus
Minus 196 degrees Celsius, ma'am.
minus 190 degrees Celsius la வந்து we can preserve the what is that? The pollen grains for the next generation to produce. Okay. So this is what about the pollen grains. So now we are going with what is that? The pistil, megasporangium and embryo sac. So already we completed the pollination, everything in the last class we have completed. I think these all I have completed, right? Sendamil Chelvan.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, just I'll go with the recap and I will go with that. But pollen grains economic importance and all I didn't take on that day. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing we have completed all this thing in the last class. So pollination also we have completed. The pollination means what is that? Transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Okay. So which is called as pollination. There are two kinds of pollinations we have. One is the autogamy and another one is what is that? Allogamy. So autogamy within same flower, which is called as autogamy. Within between two flowers. Okay, one flower to the anther which is transferred to the another flower na that is same variety. So that is called as allogamy. Okay, so these and all we have discussed. So when the pollen grains taken to the what is that another plant, we need what is that some of the pollinating agents also we needed. Okay, and also here pollination, when we discuss self pollination and cross pollination, right, that is called as autogamy and allogamy. So among these two, autogamy and allogamy and self pollination, which is the best one பார்க்கும்போது we have the cross pollination only, because the cross pollination with help of that we can able to produce what is that the more amount of the new variety of organisms. So that also we have discussed. Okay, va? Yes. And the next one is the embryo sac. About we have discussed the embryo sac when we are discussing the center. We have what is that? Nucellus, right? The center we have a nucellus, and the funicles, the ovary which is attached with the nucellus with the funicles only. Okay, so the part where the funicles are attached with the embryo sac, which is called as hilum. So these and all we have completed last class. And the megasporangium, okay, it is complete, covered by what is that? Two integument. One is the outer integument, and another one is what is that? Inner integument. Okay, and during this, actually, this embryo sac, when the female gametophyte is also known as embryo sac. Okay, this kind of embryo sac is called as monosporic type of embryo sac. Monospory type of embryo sac. Why the monospory type of embryo sac? Na, the nucleus of the megaspores. The nucleus of the megaspores first undergo mitotic division to form the two nuclei. This two nuclei again divide and to move the opposite poles. Okay, divide and to move the opposite poles. Again, there also it will divide to form what is that? Total 8 cell. So actually, we can say that 7 celled with the 8 cell. அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி தான் this type of we are saying the embryo sac, 8 nucleated with the 7 cell. We used to typically the angiospermic embryo sac வந்து maturity வரும்போது 8 nucleated and 7, okay, celled only we need to say. Okay, because in an antipodal cell, that is in the upper region we have an antipodal cell, 3 antipodal cells, and lower region we have a 2 synergids along with one egg apparatus we have. Okay, and the center we have a 2 polar nuclei. And in an embryo sac, we in the lower region, that is in a synergids, we have a filiform apparatus. With help of the filiform apparatus only, the embryo will be this egg, that is egg na, the sperm, that the male gamete will be guided inside the what is that? A female. Okay, so this we have discussed. And also pollination also we have discussed in the last class. And next one is we need to discuss what are the pollinating agents we have. Okay, so we have a different pollinating agents. Generally, if you see, without the pollinating agent, it's not possible to produce a variety of organisms. Okay, more variety of organisms are not possible to produce without pollinating agent. For example, if you take a cell pollination, it is a same plant only the process takes place. Here there is no any pollinating agents are not required here. So in such case, completely the pollen grains from male to female, it will be fall down and it is grow. Here there is no need any support of agent. So that is the condition of the cell pollination. When it is the cross pollination to takes place, some agents are required here. So in the pollinating agents, two types of pollinating agents we are using. One is the abiotic agent and another one is the biotic agents. So what are the abiotic agents? Na? Wind, water. So these are the comes under the what is that? Abiotic agent. And biotic agent when we discuss animals. Okay, so most of the pollination, if you take the pollination which is takes place by the what is that? A biotic agent only. Only few plants only use the what is that? Abiotic pollinating agents. Am I correct and clear? Children, is it clear? Okay. Yes. The
Yes,
next
ma'am.
one. Yeah. Moving. So, for example, the pollinating agent, the wind pollination. The pollination abiotic agent, if it is takes place by the wind, na, which is called as what is that? Anemophily. The pollinating agent, if the pollination takes place by wind, which is called as anemophily, if the pollination takes place with the help of the water is called as hydrophily, and the pollination, if it is takes place with help of the insect, is called as entomophily, and if the pollination takes place with the help of the animals are called as zoophily. We have a different phyllis here. And if it is takes place by birds, ornithophily. Okay, and if it is takes place by bat, okay, certorophilie. Okay, and like don't name many animals, if it is involved, na, that is based on the names, it will be vary. And if it is takes place by snail na, it is called as malicophily. So we are going with one by one. So how the pollination takes place and what are the characteristics should have the particular plant, what are the characteristics should have, that only we are going to discuss. First we are going with the wind pollination, how it is takes place. Okay, so the pollination, if it is takes place by the wind, which is called as, what is that, wind pollination, or what is that, anemophily. Okay, and it is a non-directional, and it is a non-directional. Okay, so here during this anemophily, more amount of pollen grains will be produced. Okay, more amount of pollen grains will be enormous, more amount of pollen grains will be produced when we are compared to the other wind pollinating plant, when it is compared to the normal plants. Okay, and when we discuss about the flower, it should have some of the characteristic to receive the, what is that, pollen grains. First thing, the flowers should be very small. Okay, flowers எப்படி இருக்கணும், very small இருக்கணும். And it is the inflorescence வந்து generally packed in, packed inflorescence வந்து நல்ல packed இருக்கணும், ரொம்ப ஸ்மாலா இருக்கணும். Okay, and hairs வந்து large feathery stigma to trap the airborne pollen grains. It should has the large feathery stigma வந்து இருக்கணும். ஓகேவா? And so these are the some of the characters. Okay, and non-essential parts are absent or reduced ஆவும் இருக்கலாம். இந்த பிளான்ட்ஸ்ல வந்து non-essential parts are there, no? Essential parts and non-essential part, two types we have. Essential parts na, part which is involved in the reproduction is called as essential parts. The part which is not involved in the reproduction is called as non-essential. For example, calyx, petal and all not involving. So இது ரெண்டு, இது இருந்தாலும் சரி இல்லைனாலும் வந்து the wind pollination வந்து it's not a matter. ஓகேவா? அண்ட் ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, இட் சுட் பி கலர்லெஸ்ஸா இருக்கணும். the flowers வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும், கலர்லெஸ்ஸா இருக்கும். அண்ட் ஆர்டர்லெஸ், நெக்டர்லெஸ். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த வென் பாலினேட்டிங் ஃப்ளவர் உடைய கேரக்டர்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ த இன்ஃப்ளாரசன்ஸ் வந்து வெரி ஸ்மாலா பேக்ட் ஒன், ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் ஆர் வெரி ஸ்மால், and inflorescence வந்து packed in inflorescence வந்து generally it is packed in inflorescence. And especially for inflorescence packed இருக்கிறதுக்கான மெயின் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து எதுனா corn cob. ஓகே, தேர் அங்க பார்த்தோம்னா a bunch of silky hairs வந்து இருக்கு. that is a stigma and style வந்து they have a longest style and stigma, along with that they have a silky hair. So with help of the silky hair they can able to, what is that, attract the wind pollination, wind pollen grains. Okay, so this is some of the plant characters. And some of the flowers வந்து, the flowers வந்து non essential part, if it is present also, not present also, not a matter. The flower colors வந்து we no need any colors, orders and nectars. Okay, and the they often, almost the stamen should be well exposed to the wind. விண்டுக்கு வந்து எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கணும். ஓகே, அண்ட் போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து ஸ்மாலா, லைட், ஸ்டிக்கியா, நான் ஸ்டிக்கியா இருக்கணும். ஓகே, அண்ட் போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து எப்படி இருக்கணும்னா, the winged pollen grains are present in the pinus. எக்ஸாம்பிள், இன் பைனஸ் வந்து winged pollen grains are present. ஓகேவா? அண்ட் ஓவியூல் வந்து inside the ovary there is only one ovule is present, and stigma is hairy, feathery or branched இருக்கு to catch the wind-borne pollen grains. Okay, and the flowers produce enormous amount of pollen when compared to the number of ovules available for the pollination. So this is the way the general characteristic should have the, what is that, anemophily flower. And second, please make a note of it. Pollination by wind, okay, it is called as anemophily. The flower வந்து general characteristic of the flowers வந்து, the flowers வந்து should be very small இருக்கணும். The flowers are very small. That style and stigma should be longest one. Okay, and in some plants ல வந்து the inflorescence should be packed இருக்கணும். For example, the inflorescence packed வந்து, the familiar example வந்து corn cob. Okay, here it has a bunchy silky hairs are present. With help of the bunchy silky hairs, it can able to, what is that, attract the, what is that, it can able to trap the what, the pollen grains. And non-essential parts வந்து, if it is present or reduced also not a matter. flowers வந்து colorless ஆ இருக்கணும், odorless and nectarless, and also the stamen should be exposed to the what is that, the atmosphere, then only it can able to trap the what is that, a pollens. And pollens grains வந்து எப்படி இருக்கணும்னா, the pollen grain should be very small, light in weight, dry and non sticky. Okay, and some of the plant winged pollen grains also present in a plant. For example, pinus la வந்து we have what is that, winged pollen grains. And if you see a ovule, there is a only one ovule is present inside the ovary. The stigma pathona, it should be hairy, feathery or branched. For what? To trap the what is that, or to catch the pollen grains. And here the pollen grains are produced, enormous amount of pollen grains are produced. Okay, so this is the anemophilic pollination characters, that is wind pollinating flower oda characters. Yes, am I clear? Any one of them, can you tell me what are the characteristic the pollen grain should have? What are the characteristic the pollen grains should have? What are the characteristic of the pollen grains? Wind pollinating pollen grains, what are the characteristic?
Ma'am, they are large in number, ma'am.
Yeah, very good.
They have feathery stigma, ma'am.
Feathery pollen grains. I'm asking pollen grains. Can character, அதாவது flower ஓட character நான் கேட்கல. pollen grainsக்கு என்ன characteristic இருக்கணும் நான் கேட்கிறேன்.
They are light and non-sticky, ma'am.
Yeah, non-sticky, dry, light, small ஆ இருக்கணும். And some plantsல வந்து என்ன இருக்கு, winged pollen grainsம் present ஆயிருக்கு. எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து பைனஸ். சரியா, இது வந்து pollen grains ஓட கேரக்டர். அதே மாதிரி flower ஓட கேரக்டர்ஸ், what are the characters wind pollinating flower ஓட characters என்ன? flower,
They have feathery stigma, ma'am.
yeah, feathery stigma. Yes, flower size எல்லாம்
The flowers are usually large, ma'am.
large ஆ small ஆ? flowers are usually flowers வந்து wind pollination flowers உடைய character வந்து wind pollination flower, they have very small ஆ இருக்கும். Okay, small ஆ இருக்கும், but the stamen வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும்? Stamens, exposed stamens. Stamens வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும்? exposed. ஓகேவா, exposed to the wind. windக்கு வந்து expose பண்ண மாதிரி இருக்கணும். அது மட்டும் இல்லாம கலர்லெஸ்ஸா இருக்கணும். flowers வந்து எப்படி இருக்கணும்? colorless, orderless, nectarless-ஆ இருக்கணும். What are they? What are the
Colorless,
wind pollinating? nectarless-ஆ இருக்கணும், and also very small-ஆ இருக்கணும். Okay, and they have what is that, silky hairs. Okay, it is present in the what is that, stigma and style ல இருக்கணும். Okay, and stamens வந்து should be exposed to what is that, outside, that is windக்கு வந்து exposed-ஆ இருக்கணும். Okay, இது எல்லாமே வந்து என்னது, the flowers character. And flowers should produce enormous amount of pollen-ஆ இருக்கணும், and also they have a single ovule இருக்கணும். Okay, and inside the ovary they should have what is that, single ovule. And stigma பார்த்தோம்னா what you told, that's feathery, branched and hairy இருக்கணும் to catch the what is that, pollen grains. இது எல்லாமே general characteristic of flower and also a pollen grains of the wind pollination. Okay, and the next one வந்து we are going with the water pollination, that is hydrophilic. Okay, so this pollination agent is what is that, water. Okay, so it is not every plants it takes place, only a few plants only it takes place in the wind pollination, sorry, water pollination. Okay, mostly it is takes place for the monocot plant only. Nearly 30 genera of the monocot which is comes under the water pollination. Okay, example வந்து vallisneria, jastra. Okay, so these are the plants வந்து generally fall in this category. And majority of aquatic plants ன்னு பார்க்கும்போது water hyacinth, water lily. Okay, so these kinds of plants also have happen, the wind pollination takes place. Okay, and the flowers which are emerge, it come out of the water. The water surface if flowers are come out of the water na, then the pollination takes place either by the insect or wind. Otherwise, the submerged plants are there na, the plants which is under the water, maximum this aquatic plant na, the plant which is under the water, maximum this process takes place. Sometimes if it is come out of the water na, that is surface la over la float ஆயிருந்துச்சுனா, there we can expect what is that, insect and wind pollination also. Okay, so water pollination also. So what is water pollination na? The pollination which takes place with help of water, which is called as water pollination. Example hydro, this also known as hydrophily. Okay, mostly it takes place in the aquatic plants. Okay, so examples like especially submerged ones na, under water living organisms. Example, Vallisneria. Okay, spelling, make a note of it, Vallisneria, Vallisneria. Okay, here it is mentioned already. Okay, so the Vallisneria, it takes place, and in Gestra, Zostera, Gestra, in that plant also this water pollination takes place. And some of the plants, the majority of aquatic plants such as water and hyacinth and water lily, that these flowers are emerge above the level. Na, we could able to see these plants over the water, surface of the water. In these plants there is a possibility of what is that, insect and wind pollination also. Okay va? So we'll see what are the characteristic of the hydrophilous flowers. Okay, so flowers are small but very not very colorful. Same wind what we have discussed, flowers are small, colorless, odorless we discussed na. The same way here also the flowers should be very small. Okay, and it is a colorless, and nectar odors are absent. Same, the wind character and water characters are similar. Nectar and odors are absent. And the wind pollination plant, what about the stigma? The stigma should be long. The stigma should be long.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The stigma is long, right? The same way, hydrophilus also, the stigma should be strong. And what about sticky nature? Wind pollination. The stigma of the wind pollination flower, it's sticky.
It's dry, ma'am.
Sticky or dry. Okay, ma. But here, okay, it is a sticky but unwettable. Sticky இருக்கும் but என்னது unwettable. Okay, and the pollen grains are protected from wetting by the mucilaginous covering. The pollen grains it is protected by what is that, one of the mucilaginous covering. With help of that, the pollen grains can be protected. Example, the Vallisneria, hydrilla. So these plant pollen grains are covered by the mucilaginous coat. With help of the coat, it can able to prevent it. Okay va? So this is what about the, what is that, the general characteristic of the flowers. Got it? So hydrophily, the pollination by the water, which is called as what is that, hydrophily. And this type of pollination very rare, nearly 30 genera. Okay, mostly in monocot it takes place. Example, in Vallisneria, hydrilla, jastra are some of the common example of hydrophily. Okay, and all aquatic plants are not hydrophily. What are the two plants which is comes under the what is that, wind and insect I told? What are the two plants? Amma, am I audible? Question புரிஞ்சுதா? I told 30 genera aquatic plants undergo pollination சொல்லிருக்கேன். Hydrophily போகும்னு சொன்னேன். Maximum hydrophily submerged one la da takes place ஆகும்னு சொல்லிருக்கேனா? Amma, you try to answer. If it is wrong also, we can rectify it. Okay ma? Submerged one la water pollination போகும்னு சொல்லிருக்கேன். What are they? Vallisneria and Gestra, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but in some of the majority of the majority of the aquatic plant, two plants I told. What are they? One is these flowers are emerge above the level of water ன்னு சொல்லிருக்கேனா? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the two plants? Yes, what are the two plants? One is, make a note of it. Even though water hyacinth, water lily, these two plants are water plant only. ஆனாலும் இது ரெண்டு பிளான்ட் உடைய பாலினேஷன் வந்து எது மூலமா நடக்குதுன்னா இன்செக்ட் அண்ட் விண்ட். ப்ளீஸ் மேக் a note of it. Water hyacinth, water lily. These two plants, aquatic plants, these flowers emerge above the level of water. These plants emerge above the level of water, are pollinated by the insect and wind. Okay, va? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And if you see the pollen grains character பார்த்தோம்னா, the pollen grains வந்து long, it is a ribbon like. Okay, the structure will be ribbon like and carried passively inside the water. With help of that ribbon like structure, உள்ள வந்து passively, உள்ள வந்து near the plant வந்து என்ன பண்றது? It will carry out. Okay. And here the water pollination it divided into two types. Amma, இன்னொரு டைம் சொல்றேன், please make a note. Almost wind pollination flower, water pollination flower, both also almost similar. Both also flowers are very small, not very colorful, nectarless, odorless. Okay va? Here both also have a stigma is long, but the wind pollination flower do not have a sticky stigma. But in a water pollinating flowers, they have a sticky stigma, but it is unwettable. Okay, and if you see wind pollinating flowers la main character enna, they have what is that? Some of the hairs, silky hairs, feather like structures they have in their body, plant body. So with help of that hairs, it can able to trap. But in the wind water pollination when we discuss, so they don't have such hairs or something. Okay va? And the pollen grains பார்க்கும்போது in wind pollination also the pollen grains are very small, light, dry and non-sticky. But when it comes the pollen grains வந்து it also small in size, but it is covered by a special coating, that is a mucilaginous covering they have. Okay va? So with help of that it can prevent from the water. And also pollen grains பார்க்கும்போது they are small and they have long and it is a ribbon like structure. With help of the ribbon like structure it can able to move towards the a particular plant. Okay va? So these are the what is that? Some of the characteristic of the pollen grains and the flower character. And here two types we have. Okay, additional only, hepihydrophily and hypohydrophily. What do you mean by hepihydrophily? Okay, here in Vallisneria, the Vallisneria which is comes under the hepihydrophily. Actually, it is not given. Okay, make a note of it. The hydrophily is two types. One is hepihydrophily, another one is hypohydrophily. The hepihydrophily வந்து which is comes Vallisneria. Actually, it is a submerged plants. Okay, so we know submerged போது the flowers are born under the water, right? Yes or no ma? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, just say yes ma, then I can go to the next one. Okay, so what happened, nalla listen panniko. Vallisneria which is comes under the hepihydrophily. Okay, so actually it is a submerged plant. We all know it is underwater plant. Here the flowers of this plant which is grow born okay in the under the water only. So when upon the attaining maturity, the male flowers get detached from the spadix of the parent plant and float on the surface of water. When the flower get mature, the male flower which is detached from the parent and it will be float on the surface of water. Okay na? So when it is float, the anther project behind the margin of the sepals. So when it started to floating, then the anther will be start to what is that project out of the sepal. Then the pistillate flowers also develop underwater. At the time of pollination, they are brought to surface of the thin, long, slender stalk. If the male flowers floating on the surface come close to the female flower, the anther strike and exposed to the stigma, the pollen mass is transferred to it. So after the pollination, the stalk of pistillate, okay, after the pollination, the stalk of pistillate flower coils to bring the pollinated flowers under the water. Thus, the fertilization and fruit formation occur under the water. Got it? ஸோ என்ன ஆகும் எப்பிஹைட்ரோஃபில்லினா இது வந்து வேலிஷன் ஏரியால நடக்குது. வேலிஷன் ஏரியால எப்படி பாலினேஷன் நடக்குதுன்னா வென் த ஃப்ளவர் கெட் அ மெச்சூரிட்டி, ஓகே, த மேல் ஃப்ளவர் வந்து டிட்டாச் ஃப்ரம் தி வாட் இஸ் தட் அ பேரண்ட். காட் இட்? Detach from the parent and it will come to the surface of water. So when it reach the surface of water, anther from the male flower project out, okay, project out of the sepal. At the same time, the pistillate flowers also develop underwater, right? So from the pistillate flower, okay, the slender stigma, slender stalk, we know that the time pollination, the thin, long, slender stalk, that is a style we have, right? The style will come out. Okay, if a male flower is present floating over the water, it will go close to it and the anther will strike to the expose the stigma. ஓகே, ஆந்தர் வந்து ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆகி அந்த ஸ்டிக்மாவை மேல என்ன பண்ணுது, ஆந்தர் வந்து எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஆகுது. அது எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஆன உடனே, ஓகே, வென் த போலன்ஸ் ஆர் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் டு தி ஃபீமேல் ஃப்ளவர், தென் த ஃபீமேல் ஃப்ளவர், த ஸ்டாக் வந்து என்ன ஆகுது, இட் வில் பி காயில், ஃப்ளவர் வந்து காயில் ஆகி அண்ட் இட் வில் பிரிங் பேக் அண்டர் த வாட்டர். அகெயின் அண்டர் த வாட்டர் ஒன்லி வாட் ஹேப்பன், த ஃப்ரூட் ஃபார்மேஷன் வந்து நடக்குது. ஓகேவா? ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த வே த எப்பிஹைட்ரோஃபில்லி நடக்குது. எனி டவுட்? புரிஞ்சதா? எனி ஒன் ஆஃப் தம் கேன் யூ சே தட் வாட் ஹேப்பன் when male flower get matured, it will separate from the parent, come over the water. At the same time, the female flower also come out. In female flower na, the female style is there, long slender one will come out and it reach the surface. So during that time, the anther from the male flower reach the where a female flower stigma, and once it is reached, the stigma will be coil the anther and it will be bring down and it under the water only the fruit formation takes place. So this is called as epihydrophily. Any doubt? Any doubt, amma?
No, ma'am.
Next one வந்து hypohydrophily என்னன்னா, okay, it is வந்து takes place in the jastra, JZO, okay, jastra, ZOSTERE, இதுல வந்து நடக்குது. ஓகே, இது வந்து ஆக்சுவலி இட் இஸ் அ சப்மர்ஜ்டு மெரைன் சொல்லுவோம். ஓகே, it is the submerged plant. ஓகேவா? So it is a submerged plant. The pollens are exceptionally long here, nearly 250 mm. Okay, a needle or a ribbon like here. The specific gravity of pollen is almost same of the sea water. Consequently, they can freely float in the water at any depth in a hypohydrophily plant. The stigma also very long in this plant. If the pollen come in contact with the stigma, it coil around and the pollen grains will be fusion will be takes place. So this is called as hypohydrophily. Okay, va? Okay, so hypohydrophily which is takes place in the jastra plant. Actually, the pollen character வந்து என்னதுன்னா, it is a long, the pollen grains are exceptionally long up to 250 mm. And they are needle like or ribbon like. Already I told the characteristic of pollen grains are ribbon like. Once it is received, once it is the fertilization to takes place, that ribbon like structure will move towards the female flower, I told, right? Okay, so here the pollen grains are 250 mm the long and they are needle like and ribbon like. Okay, the specific gravity of pollen is almost the same of the sea water. இதுடைய gravity, pollen grains உடைய gravity வந்து அந்த sea உடைய gravity க்கு ஈக்குவலா இருக்கும். Okay, and they can easily float in the water and they can go any depth of the plant also. And here the stigma also, if you see, it is very long. Okay, when the pollen grains reach the both will combine, and what happened? The fertilization will be takes place. It will coil around. When the pollen grains reach, the stigma will coil around it and it will take to the down. Okay, va? So this is called as hypohydrophily. Okay, hypohydrophily. So this is what about the two types of hydrophily. One is epi na மேல நடக்கிறது. ப்ராசஸ் வந்து மேல நடக்கிறது. இங்க வந்து the pollen grains வந்து they have some specific gravity like almost like a sea water. So and shape also it's like a ribbon like or needle like, and the size will be 250 mm. Okay, and they can be easily float in the water and any depth also the pollen grains can go. Okay, when the stigma also you know very long, when it reach the pollen comes into contact with the stigma, it coil around the pollen grains and fertilization takes place. So this is what about the hypohydrophily. Okay, so the next thing we are going with the biotic agent. Okay, so what is the biotic agent engumbodu? We have a majority of the plant. If you see the biotic agents வந்து என்னது? The animals. Okay, the animal mediated pollination தான் என்னது? The biotic agent. Okay, so here if it is takes place the pollination with the help of what? Animals, which is called as zoophily. I already told. Okay, animal already I told it is zoophily. And insect, majority animals. Insect also, what is that? The dominant in the biotic pollination. Okay, so to insect pollination to takes place, the flowers should be very large and colorful. They have more fragrant and they should more produce the nectar. Am I correct? Yes or no? First example.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, the pollination to takes place with the help of the insect. Okay, it should have some of the very good characters. Okay, for examples, very colorful இருக்கணும், large இருக்கணும், it should have more fragrant and rich in nectar it should have, right? Okay, and maximum வந்து most insected pollinated flowers வந்து landing platforms they should have. Am I correct? அது அந்த insect வந்து உட்கார்றதுக்கு they should have a landing platform, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and in many cases நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா a special marking occur on the petals for guiding the insect for nectar to gland. even though நமக்கு அதெல்லாம் தெரியாது, நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா ஓகே many casesல வந்து ஸ்பெஷல் மார்க்கிங் அக்கர் வந்து இருக்கும். பிளான்ட்லயே ஒரு மார்க்கிங் இருக்கும். with help of the marking in the petals the insect can collect the what is that nectar. and the marking வந்து எதுக்குன்னா the guidance for a plant to collect the nectar. Okay, okay, guidance for the what is that collect the nectar. They are called honey or nectar guides அப்படின்னு கூட நம்ம சொல்லிக்கலாம். ஓகேவா? அண்ட் ஸோ வாட் ஆர் த ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் பாலினேட்டட் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா the insect பார்த்தோம்னா ஃப்ளைஸ் அண்ட் பீட்டில்ஸ். ஓகே, இது எல்லாமே வந்து என்னது செக்ரேட் ஃபால் ஆர்டர் டு அட்ராக்ட் தீஸ் அனிமல்ஸ். Okay, the flowers which is pollinated by flies. Okay, if the flowers are pollinated by flowers na, they are it like a what is that? It should have character like what is that? Flies இதெல்லாம் வந்துச்சுன்னா ஆர்டர் ஃபோல் ஆர்டர், ஒரு பேட் ஸ்மெல்லுங்கல அந்த ஸ்மெல் இருக்கணும். ஓகேவா? ஃபோல் ஆர்டர் அண்ட் அட்ராக்ட் தி அனிமல்ஸ். Okay, and also the animal to sustain animal to visit the flower have provide rewards to the animals. Okay, nectar and pollen grains are usual floral rewards. Okay, and the insect வந்து அந்த ஃப்ளவர்ல வரணும்னா they should have some of the rewards. ஓகேவா? அந்த ஃப்ளவர்ல என்ன ரிவார்டுன்னு நம்ம சொல்லலாம்னா the nectars are there, right? So the nectars and pollen grains are the usually the rewards for the insects. Okay, for harvesting these rewards from the flower, the animal visit comes into contact with the anther and the stigma. The body of animals வந்து என்ன ஆகுது? It get coating with the pollen grains, which are generally sticky in the animal. The pollen grains generally have a characteristic to sticky in the animals, the pollinating flowers. When the animal carrying the pollen, body come in contact with the stigma, it bring out about what is that? A pollination. So these are the general features it takes place with the help of the pollination. Okay va? So what is that? Entomophily na the pollination which is takes place with the help of the an insect which is called as entomophily. Majority of the entomophily flowers, it have what is that? Large, colorful, and it should have fragrant and also rich in nectar should have. The flowers are should be very large and it will be very colorful and it fragrant and it should have a more rich in nectar. இதுதான் மெயின் பாயிண்ட். மேக் a note of it. ஃப்ளவர் வந்து பெருசா இருக்கணும், வெரி கலர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும், ஃப்ராக்ரண்டா இருக்கணும், நிறைய நெக்டார்ஸ் வந்து இருக்கணும். ஓகேவா? அண்ட் ஆல்சோ the flowers should have a platform for landing of what is that? The insect வந்து இருக்கணும். And also அந்த ஃப்ளவர்ஸ்லயே if you see there is a small marking is present. That markings and all guiding the insect to what is that? To collect the nectar from the glands. ஓகே, தே ஆர் ஹனி ஆர் நெக்டார் கைட்ஸ் அப்படிங்கறது கூட சொல்லிக்கலாம். எக்ஸாம்பிள், எந்த பிளான்ட்ல வந்து தே ஹேவ் அ கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் டு கைட் தி இன்செக்ட் ஃபார் அ கலெக்ட் த நெக்டார்னா மேக் எ நோட் ஆஃப் இட். வயோலா, VIOLA, வயோலா. ஓகேவா? வயோலா. ஓகேவா? அண்ட் ஆல்சோ இன் சம் ஆஃப் த ஃபிளவர் வந்து டு அட்ராக்ட் த ஃபிளைஸ் அண்ட் பீட்டில்ஸை வந்து அட்ராக்ட் பண்றதுக்காக இட் சுட் ப்ரொடியூஸ் செக்ரேட் சம் ஃபால் ஆர்டர்ஸ். ஓகே, ஃபால் ஆர்டர்ஸையும் வந்து என்ன பண்ணணும்? அது வந்து செக்ரேட் பண்ணணும். அப்பதான் வந்து இந்த ஃபிளைஸ், பீட்டில்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து என்ன ஆகும்னா போய் ரீச் ஆகும். ஓகேவா? ஸோ இது எல்லாமே வந்து என்னதுன்னா சம் ஆஃப் த கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக். அண்ட் ஆல்சோ அந்த இன்செக்ட் வந்து அந்த ஃபிளவர்ஸ் ரீச் ஆகணும்னா ஃபிளவர் ஹேவ் டு கிவ் சம் ரிவார்ட்ஸ். அந்த ரிவார்ட்ஸ் என்னன்னா 2 ரிவார்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஒன்னு வந்து என்னதுன்னா நெக்டாரு, இன்னொன்னு வந்து என்னது? போலன் கிரைன்ஸ். ஓகேவா? ஸோ ஹவு தட் போத் இன்செக்ட் அண்ட் ஃபிளவர் கான்டாக்ட் நடக்குதுன்னா the animals வந்து generally come in contact to the flower to collect the what is that? The nectar, right? Yes, contact with the flower to collect the nectar. So then the body of the animal which is coated, okay, with the pollen grains. Okay, it will sit over the stigma, right? So the pollen grains will be stick to the body of the animals. Okay, generally sticky in animal pollinated flowers. Okay, sticky nature இருக்கும். And when the animals will move to the other flower, okay, so already the body is coated with some of the pollen grains, right? These pollen grains will be contact with the stigma of the other plant and it will do what is that? A pollination. Okay va? So generally in the pollination or insect வந்து it will not sit on the same flower. It will go keep on vary. Okay, மத்த ரோஸ், ஐபிஸ்கஸ், ஜாஸ்மின் அந்தங்கிற மாதிரி ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் கிட்ட மாறிட்டே இருக்கும் நெக்டார் கலெக்ட் பண்றதுக்கு. ஆனா அதோடைய போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து எந்த ஸ்டிக்மா கூட மேட்ச் ஆகுதோ, ஃபார் ஐபிஸ்கஸ்னா அதோடைய வெரைட்டி கூட தான் என்ன ஆகும்னா the pollination takes place ஆகும். மத்த எந்த வெரைட்டிலுமே அந்த போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் ரீச் ஆனாலும் பாலினேஷன் வந்து நடக்காது. ஓகே, இட் வில் நாட் அக்செப்ட் இட். ஓகே, செல்ஃப் இன்கம்பேட்டபிலிட்டி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஏன்னா அந்த போலன் கிரைன்ஸை வந்து அந்த ஸ்டிக்மா வந்து அக்செப்ட் பண்ணாது. ஓகேவா? So this is what about the entomophily. Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear? I think I was speed.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so characteristic, flower characteristic தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும், எப்படி வந்து பாலினேஷன் நடக்குது. சரியா? அதுல வந்து நம்ம மெயின் அது என்ன தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா என்டமோஃபில்லினாலே இன்செக்ட்ல நடக்குது. ஃப்ளவர் வந்து பிரைட், அட்ராக்டிவ், கலர்ஃபுல் அண்ட் நெக்டார் நிறைய ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகுற மாதிரி இருக்கணும். அண்ட் சம் ஆஃப் த பிளான்ட்ல வந்து தே ஹேவ் அ கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் ஆஃப் வாட் இஸ் தட் மார்க்கிங். எஸ் மா?
Your screen is not visible, ma'am.
Not visible, huh? Now ma?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
okay? Yeah, okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, biotic agent. Okay, and போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து மெயினா வந்து ஒரு ஃப்ளவர் வந்து ஒரு இன்செக்ட் வந்து ஒரு ஃப்ளவர்ல உட்காருதுன்னா 2 ரிவார்ட்ஸ் வந்து மஸ்ட் ஷுட் ஹேவ். ஒன்னு வந்து போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் கலெக்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கணும், இன்னொன்னு வந்து நெக்டார் கொண்டு போற மாதிரி இருக்கணும். இது வந்து என்னது மெயின் கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் வென் entomophily pollination to takes place. ஓகேவா? I have mentioned all this here. And floral rewards bring safe places for lay eggs. For example, Amorphophilus, make a note of it. Amorphophilus இருக்குல்ல, இந்த plant வந்து in some species of floral rewards are in providing safe places to lay eggs also. Example வந்து Amorphophilus என்கிற plant வந்து it will allow the insect to lay the eggs. Okay, and a species of moth and yaka. plant cannot complete the life cycle without each other. Okay, moth yak. So yak is a plant, moth is a insect. இது ரெண்டும் வந்து அதனுடைய லைஃபை வந்து கம்ப்ளீட்டே பண்ணாது. இந்த ரெண்டுடைய லைஃப் சைக்கிள் வித்தவுட் வில் நாட் complete without fusion. So the moth deposit egg into the locule of the ovary and the flower is turned pollinated by the moth. Make underline it. It is a special character here. Make note பண்ணிக்கோ. A species of moth and yucca plant வந்து cannot complete their life cycle without each other. Reason என்னன்னா moth என்ன பண்ணும்னா deposit the eggs in the yucca plant ஓட ஓவரியில வந்து egg deposit பண்ணும். And the flower வந்து என்ன பண்ணும்னா okay ovary and the flower is get pollinated by the moth. அந்த flower வந்து pollination வந்து எது மூலமா நடக்குதுன்னா moth மூலமா தான் நடக்குது. So இது வந்து one of the special characters. Amorphophillusல okay amorphophillusல வந்து the leaves வந்து flower வந்து provide the place to lay the eggs. So that is one of the character. And many insects may consume pollen and nectar without bringing about the pollination. Okay va? Such floral visitor referred to as pollen and nectar robbers. ஓகே நிறைய இன்செக்ட் வந்து பாலினேஷன்லயே வந்து நடக்காது, இன்வால்வ் ஆகாமையே வந்து நெக்டார்ஸை கலெக்ட் பண்ணுது. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ இட் வில் கலெக்ட் தி போலன் ஆல்சோ. இன் சச் அனிமல்ஸ் ஆர் கால்ட் as such insects are called as pollen or nectar robbers. Any doubt? Any doubt, Amma?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear, children? The final topic of this lesson will go outbreeding device. Yes, any doubt in this? You got it idea, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Make a note of it. Amorphophilus, moth and yucca, viola plant. It has a characteristic of marking to guide the insect to reach the, what is that? The ovary or a stigma. Dellame vandu it is an important character of some of the plant. And next, outbreeding device. Ma'am, what is outbreeding device? Anybody? Anyone? No idea? Okay, I'll tell you. Majority of the flowering plants produce hermaphrodite flower and undergo autogamy. What do you mean by hermaphrodite? What do you mean by hermaphrodite? Both the male and female will be produced in the same flower, which is called as hermaphrodite. Most of the bisexual flowers are comes under the, what is that? Hermaphrodite, because they have both the, what is that? Male and female here. Okay, and undergo what kind of pollination? Na autogamy pollination it will go. So continuous autogamy, that is a self pollination, result in inbreeding depression. Am I right? Already I told in the last class, due to self pollination, continuously the same variety when it is formed at particular time period, they lost their ability for what is that? Reproduction. Am I told right in the last class? Yes, that is called as self breeding, that is inbreeding depression. Got it? So most of the plants, they are hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite na both male and female which is present in the same flower. If it is present in the same flower, they undergo what is that? Self pollination only. When continuous self pollination, there is a result is inbreeding depression. Okay, so flowering plants, they have developed many devices to avoid the self pollination. Okay, and to encourage the cross pollination, to avoid the self pollination, they have what is that? Developed many, what is that? Devices. So that about the devices only we are going to discuss. Such devices are called as outbreeding devices. Any one of them, can you tell me what is inbreeding depression?
Ma'am,
Yes.
the pollen grains will lose their fertility if they are continually bred under the within the same species,
Self
ma'am.
pollination. Undergo self pollination. Continuously undergo self pollination. They lost the ability to fertility, right? Yes. So that condition is called as inbreeding depression.
Inbreeding depression.
Okay. So to protect the self pollination, to encourage the cross pollination, the plants will develop the what? Am I audible? To protect the self pollination, to encourage the cross pollination, the plants will develop the devices, right? The plants will develop the devices, right? So this devices
Yes,
is
ma'am.
called as, what is that? Outbreeding devices. Am I clear? What is outbreeding depression? What is outbreeding devices? You got a clarity? Please say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the outbreeding devices the plant will be formed? அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா first வந்து pollen released and stigma respectively is not synchronized. அதாவது pollen வந்து ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருக்கும், பட் the stigma வந்து என்ன ஆகாது? synchronize ஆகாது, fusion ஆகாது, okay, match ஆகாது. So in such condition we can prevent the what is that self pollination. Second one வந்து spatial separation of anther and stigma. In some species, okay, in some species pollen release and stigma respectively are not synchronized. Okay, either the pollen is released before the stigma. எப்படி வந்து release அந்த reason நடக்காதுன்னு பார்த்தோம்னா first one can explanation, pollen is released before the stigma and become receptive. The stigma become receptive, okay va, much before release of pollen. Okay, in such cases என்ன ஆகாது? pollen முன்னாடி ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருக்கும், ஸ்டிக்மாவுக்கு முன்னாடி, ஸ்டிக்மா வளர்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் ரிலீஸ் ஆயிருந்தாலும் அது மேட்ச் ஆகாது. ஓகே, அதே மாதிரி ஸ்டிக்மா டெவலப் ஆயிருக்கும், போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து ரிலீஸ் பண்ணலைனாலும் என்ன ஆகாது? அங்க வந்து மேட்ச் ஆகாது இல்லையா? சோ அந்த கண்டிஷன்ல we can prevent the what is that self pollination. Am I right? And in some conditionல spatial separation of anther and stigma. What is the spatial separation of anther and stigma na? In some species the anther and stigma are placed at a different position. ரெண்டு different positionல வச்சிருப்பாங்க, so that the pollen cannot come in contact with the stigma of the same flower. You got it? புரிஞ்சுதா? pollen released and stigma respectively is not synchronized na, pollen grains release ஆயிருக்கும், stigma வந்து மெச்சூரிட்டி அடையாம இருக்கும். எதர் pollen grain வந்து ரிலீஸ் ஆனாலும் ஸ்டிக்மா மெச்சூரிட்டி இல்லைன்னா ரிவைஸ் ஆகாது, க்ளோஸ் ஆகாது. அதே மாதிரி ஆப்போசிட், ஓகேவா? இது வந்து போலன் இது. செகண்ட் வந்து செப்பரேஷன் ஆஃப் ஆந்தர் அண்ட் ஸ்டிக்மான்னு என்னன்னா, இந்த போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் அண்ட் ஸ்டிக்மா வந்து ரெண்டுமே வந்து என்ன இருக்குன்னா டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பொசிஷன்ல வந்து என்ன இருக்குன்னா பிளேஸ் ஆயிருக்கு, ஓகேவா? சோ இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா we can prevent the what is that a self pollination. And third one வந்து என்னன்னா, the third device வந்து to prevent the inbreeding is self incompatibility. What is the self incompatibility na? Okay, so here this is the genetic mechanism here to prevent the self pollination, that is from same flower or other flower of same plant from the fertilizing ovule by inhibiting the pollen germination and pollen tube growth in the pistil. You got it? What is self incompatibility? It means it is actually genetic mechanism. Self incompatibility na meaning என்னதுன்னா genetic mechanism. இது ஜெனட்டிக்கலா தான் இந்த ப்ராசஸ் வந்து நம்ம பண்றோம். எதுக்குன்னா to prevent the self pollination. Okay, from the same flower or the other flower of the same plant. இது எங்க பண்றோம்னா சேம் ஃபிளவர்லயும் பண்றோம், or also we can do it what is that the same other flower of the same plant. Okay, so எதுக்காகனா to prevent the self pollination from fertilizing the ovule by inhibiting the pollen germination and pollen tube growth in the pistil. அதாவது pollen tube உடைய growth வந்து grow ஆகாம நம்ம prevent பண்றது தான் என்னதுன்னா self incompatibility. அது சேம் பிளான்ட்டா இருக்கலாம், டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பிளான்ட்டா இருந்தாலும் அந்த போலன் டியூபை வந்து இன்ஹிபிஷன்னாலே அதோடைய growth வந்து நம்ம சப்ரஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா we can prevent the what is that a pollination. So this is one of the nature. And the last one is production of unisexual flower. So another device that prevent the self pollination is production of unisexual flower. If both male and female flowers are present on the same plant, such a castor and maize and all, we have a same flowers produced. Okay, va? To prevent the autogamy, but not geotinogamy here. Okay, in such species like papaya, male and female flowers are present on different plants. Okay, that is the plant either a male or female. Okay, this condition prevent the autogamy, and also what is that, geotinogamy. So this is also one of the method. So that is a production of unisexual flower is the fourth method. Okay, so in this method we can produce the, what is that, production of unisexual flowers வந்து என்ன பண்ணலாம், we can control it. என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா, both male and female flowers are present on the same plant such as castor and maize. இங்க வந்து நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம், the monoecious plantல we can prevent the, what is that, self gaming, self autogamy prevent பண்ணலாம். பட் ஜியாட்டினோகேமியை வந்து என்ன பண்ண முடியாதுன்னா ப்ரிவென்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஆனா பப்பாயா பிளான்ட்ல பார்த்தோம்னா ஒரு ஃபிளவர்ல வந்து மேலும் இன்னொரு ஃபிளவர்ல வந்து என்ன ஆகும், ஃபீமேலும் வந்து ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகும். ஓகே, த மேல் அண்ட் ஃபீமேல் ஃபிளவர்ஸ் ஆர் பிரசன்ட் ஆன் தி டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பிளான்ட்ஸ். ஸோ தட் இஸ் ஈச் பிளான்ட் இஸ் எய்தர் மேல், ஒரு பிளான்ட் மேலா இருக்கலாம், ஃபீமேலா இருக்கலாம். ஓகேவா? சோ இந்த மாதிரி கண்டிஷன்ல வந்து நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா we can prevent the, what is that, both autogamy and geotinogamy. ஏன்னா இது யூனிசெக்சுவல் தான், இதுல வந்து கண்டிப்பா பாசிபிலிட்டியே இல்ல அது ரெண்டு ஃபியூஸ் ஆகுறதுக்கு. அதனால வந்து we can prevent it. So these are the in outbreeding devices we can use to, what is that, the pollen tube to stop grow. What are the 4 steps outbreeding devices? First என்னது, what is the first one? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what are the 4 devices, character outbreeding devices we are using? First என்னது? Yes, what are the first one என்னது? செந்தமிழ் செல்வன், right?
Unisexual flowers, ma'am.
ஒன்னு யூனிசெக்சுவல் ஃபிளவர். அதை என்ன எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண பார்க்கலாம். வாட் இஸ் யூனிசெக்சுவல் ஃபிளவர்?
The flowers will have only anthisem or only gynoecium, ma'am.
Okay, but if you see the flower like castor and maize and all, they have both female flowers are present on same plant, right? Male, both female.
Yes, ma'am.
அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம்? So in what is that, another device வந்து self pollination is production of unisexual flower, right? Unisexual flowers வந்து produce பண்றதுனால we can prevent it. So if both male and female flowers are present on the same plant, ஒரே plantல இருக்கும், example such as castor and maize, it prevent the autogamy. இந்த இடத்துல வந்து self pollination என்ன ஆகும், prevent ஆயிக்கும். ஒரே பிளான்ட்ல இருந்தாலும் prevent ஆகும். பட் ஜியாட்டினோகேமிங்கிறது இட் இஸ் கம்ஸ் அண்டர் a type of a self pollination. அதை வந்து prevent பண்ண முடியாது. இன்னொரு பிளான்ட்ல வந்து பப்பாயால பார்த்தோம்னா, பப்பாயா வந்து மேல் ஃபிளவர் செப்பரேட் ஆகும், ஃபீமேல் ஃபிளவர் செப்பரேட்டா தான் இருக்கும். மேல் அண்ட் ஃபீமேல் ஃபிளவர் செப்பரேட்டா இருக்கும்போது we can easily என்ன பண்ணலாம், prevent the, what is that, a self pollination. So இது வந்து production of unisexual flower. Second, what is self incompatibility? Any one of them? What is self incompatibility? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I explain one more time self incompatibility என்னன்னு? What is self incompatibility னா, ஆக்சுவலி இது வந்து ஜெனட்டிக் மெக்கானிசம். இதை வந்து நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னா, போலன் growth வந்து grow ஆகாம சப்ரஸ் பண்றோம், இன்ஹிபிட் பண்றோம். The growth of pollen tube வந்து we are suppressing it, inhibiting it. So when inhibition பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகாது, மேல் கேமெட்டை வந்து it will not carry to the female body, கொண்டு போகாது. So இதுக்கு பேரு தான் செல்ஃப் இன்கம்பatibility. இது வந்து நம்மளா பண்றதுதான். ஓகேவா? புரியுதா? Prevent
Yes,
the self pollination from fertilizing the ovule by inhibiting the pollen germination or pollen tube growth in the pistil. Pollen tube growth வந்து சப்ரஸ் பண்றோம் ஆர் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றோம். அதனால வந்து என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, மேல் கேமெட் வந்து ஃபீமேல் கேமெட்ல ரீச் ஆகாது. ஸோ இது வந்து என்னதுன்னா ஒன் ஆஃப் தி செல்ஃப் இன்கம்பatibility. அண்ட் வாட் இஸ் த செகண்ட் ஒன்? செப்பரேஷன். ஆந்தர் அண்ட் ஸ்டிக்மா ஆர் பிளேஸ்ட் at the டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பொசிஷன், அதாவது டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பிளேஸ்லயும் வந்து என்ன பண்றோம்னா நம்ம பிளேஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். பொசிஷனும் அதாவது சேஞ்சஸ் டைரக்ஷன்ஸும் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம்னா சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கலாம். ஸோ அப்படி பண்ணும்போது we can prevent it. And pollen release and stigma respectively is not synchronized னா pollen மெச்சூரேஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி ஸ்டிக்மா வந்து என்ன ஆயிரும், மெச்சூர் ஆகாம இருக்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா ஸ்டிக்மா மெச்சூர் ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் ரிலீஸ் ஆகாம இருக்கலாம். ஸோ இது ரெண்டும் வந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டைம்ல நடக்கும்போது we can prevent the what is that the self pollination. Okay, and the last one is pollen pistil interaction. So this alone will complete it. Artificial hybridization I will take in the next class. What is pollen pistil interaction? Any idea about this topic? Anybody? Yes. Actually, in the pollination, okay, நான் சொல்றேன். இந்த பாலினேஷன் ஆல் ஈவெண்ட்ஸ் அப் டு நவ் ஐ டோல்ட்னா விண்ட் பாலினேஷன் பயோட்டிக் ஏஜென்ட் மூலமா ஏபயோட்டிக் ஏஜென்ட் மூலமா பாலினேஷன் நடக்குதுன்னு வந்து வி ஆர் கண்டினியூஸ்லி சேயிங் ரைட். ஆனா இது வந்து 100% வந்து இந்த ப்ராசஸ் வந்து நடக்குதா அப்படிங்கிறது இட் இஸ் அ கொஸ்டின் மார்க் ஒன்லி. ஓகே, ஸோ த பாலினேஷன் டஸ் நாட் கேரண்டி, இது வந்து நாட் கிவ் அ கேரண்டி டு டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் தி ரைட் டைப் ஆஃப் போலன். ஓகே, right type of pollen to the stigma of the plant. So often pollen of wrong type, அதான் சொன்னேன்ல ரோஸோட போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து ஐபிஸ்கஸ் மேல கூட விழலாம், ஐபிஸ்கஸ் உடது இது கூட கூட போலாம், ரோஸ் கூட கூட போலாம். ஓகேவா? ஸோ the pollen of wrong type either from the other species or from the same plant, okay, then the stigma வந்து என்ன ஆகாதுன்னா it will not accept it. ஸ்டிக்மா வந்து என்ன பண்ணாது, will not accept it. Okay, same plant also it's also land on the stigma also it will not accept it. So the pistil has ability to recognize the pollen whether it is a right type of or wrong type of. Okay, so either pistil வந்து recognize பண்ணும் இது வந்து right type of pollen grains we can accept this pollen grain, or if it is not right type, that is self incompatibility compatibility ஆங்கறத வந்து pistil வந்து என்ன பண்ணும்னா அனலைஸ் பண்ணும். If it is a right type, the pistil accept the pollen and promote the what is that next post pollination events like a pollen tube formation, fusion, everything வந்து follow பண்ணும். ஒருவேளை okay, if the pollen is a wrong type, then the pistil reject the pollination by prevent the pollen germination on the stigma and the pollen tube growth in the style. Got it? So the ability of pistil to recognize the pollen followed by the acceptance and rejection is the result of continuous dialogue between the pollen grain and the pistil. So this is the pollen pistil interaction we are saying. You got it what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
மேம் அப்புறம் எப்படி மேம் இந்த டயலாக் எப்படி போலனுக்கும் பிஸ்டலுக்கும் நடுவுல நடக்கும் இல்லையா, நடக்கணும் இல்லையா? இப்ப நம்ம சொல்லிட்டோம் ஐ டோல்ட் நவ். ஸோ போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பிளான்ட் ஸ்பீசிஸ் உடைய போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து லேண்ட் ஆகும். சரியா? அந்த இன்செக்ட் வந்து கரெக்டான போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் கொண்டு போகுமா என்ன, கிடையாது. சம் ராங் போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் ஆல்சோ இட் வில் கேரி. ஸோ அப்ப வந்து வென் இட் இஸ் ரீச் டு தி ஸ்டிக்மா, அந்த ஸ்டிக்மாவுக்கும் போலன் கிரைன்ஸ்க்கும் இடையில ஒரு டயலாக் இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? சோ வெதர் ஐ ஷுட் அக்செப்ட் ஆர் நாட். இஃப் த சேம் ஸ்பீசிஸ்னா போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து என்ன ஆகும்னா இட் வில் அக்செப்ட் இட், கம்பட்டபிலிட்டி நடக்கும். தென் ஃபர்தரா வந்து போஸ்ட் ஃபர்டிலைசேஷன், போலன் டியூப் ஃபார்மேஷன், ஃபர்டிலைசேஷன், டபுள் ஃபர்டிலைசேஷன் எல்லாமே நடக்கும். இப் அதர் பிளான்ட்டோட போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் இஃப் இட் இஸ் லேண்ட் ஆன் தி ஸ்டிக்மா, இந்த போலன் கிரைன்ஸ் வந்து இந்த ஸ்டிக்மா வந்து நாட் அக்செப்ட் இட், அக்செப்ட் பண்ணாது. சரியா? அப்புறம் எப்படி வந்து இதை வந்து இந்த போலன் கிரைன்ஸை வந்து எப்படி இதை ரெகக்னைஸ் பண்ணும் அப்படிங்கிறத, ஓகே, திஸ் டயலாக் இஸ் மீடியேட்டட் பிட்வீன் தி pollen and the stigma by the chemical components. How it is dialogue will takes place between them? Chemical component மூலமா தான் என்ன ஆகும், ரெண்டு பேர்கிட்டயும் dialogue நடக்கும். ஓகேவா? is only the recent years the botanists have been able to identify some of the pollen pistil components and interaction leading to the recognition followed by the acceptance and rejections. The acceptance or rejections, how it is mediated between the pollen and the stigma with the help of the what is that the chemical components only. As mentioned earlier, a following compatible pollination, the pollen grain germinate on the stigma, produce the pollen tube through one of the germ pore. The content of pollen grain move into what is that pollen tube. So further, these things we will discuss in the next class. Okay, na?
Okay.
Yes. So I told now what are the chemicals will mediate the pollen pistil interaction. Now boron, please make a note. Boron, inositol, and sucrose level. Boron, inositol, and sucrose. Okay. Boron, inositol, and sucrose level. Okay. Got it? We'll see in the next class. Okay, na? Or shall I move to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll move to the next. We'll wind up. Anyone, can you tell me how the pollen pistil interaction takes place? Up to now, I have explained. Na? Just few points you can discuss with me. Yes. Yes. Who is going to? Tell me, ma, pollen pistil interaction, whether do you understand or not?
Yes, ma'am.
And then just come out. I don't want elaboration. Just what you know in the concept இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதுல என்ன நமக்கு தெரியணுங்கிறது இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? That's why I'm asking. Anyone?
Ma'am, it's the interaction between the pollen grain and the stigma, ma'am.
Okay. How it is interaction takes place? What do you mean by compatibility, incompatibility? Pollen pistil interactionல வரும்போது compatibility நடக்குது, incompatibility நடக்குது. What do you mean by compatibility, incompatibility நான் கேக்குறேன்.
Ma'am, stigma only accepts the pollen grain, ma'am.
Only accept the pollen grains from the same plant species only, right?
Species.
Then it is called compatibility. If the stigma which is not accept the pollen grains from the other plant species, na, then it is called as self incompatibility, right? Am I correct? So
Yes.
compatibility na acceptance, incompatibility na rejections, right? இல்லையா? Okay. So this is about pollen pistil interaction. Then how the pollen pistil get interacted na with help of the chemical compound. So அது எது வந்து அது சேம் ஸ்பீசிஸ் தானா இல்லையாங்கிறது வந்து எப்படி அது ரெண்டுக்கு இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் நடக்கும்னா கெமிக்கல் காம்பவுண்ட். என்னென்ன கெமிக்கல் காம்பவுண்ட்னா தட் இஸ் லைக் வாட் ஆர் தே சுக்ரோஸ், போரான் அண்ட் inositol. So these are the some of the chemical compound with help of that only the pollen pistil interaction வந்து என்ன ஆகும் நடக்கும். ஓகேவா? Okay. Yes. Shall I wind up?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see in the next class.
Thank
Okay,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, da. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.